Just as a short of introduction, my name is Anita Pera. I'm the founder and CEO of Kite Consulting. Kite Consulting is an Oracle boutique consultancy based out of Melbourne, but with offices across Australia and a workforce of about 50 consultants. And we're very excited to be running the topic today because we've been engaging with a lot of companies in Australia around what's happening with RightNow Service Cloud, what's Oracle doing in that space, what's the RAIN program. So we thought we're going to dive into the topic a little bit more. So without further ado, I'm going to do a quick roundtables introduction of the key people involved in the program, and then we kick off with our agenda. So Jackson, over to you.
Thank you, Anita. For those that don't know me, my name is Jackson Hilaire. I'm one of the solution engineers in the customer experience space. So I love to talk anything marketing, service, sales, all of that wonderful fun stuff. Great to meet you all.
Thank you, Jackson. I'd like to hand over to Michelle, please.
Thanks, Anita. Great to be here today and to be presenting this really exciting topic. I'm Michelle Weeks. I'm the CX practice lead and here to support all of our customers who are currently on RightNow and thinking about the move to Fusion Service. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks, Anita. I'm Kev Stevens, Senior CX Consultant with Kite. I'm the Fusion Capability Lead and also helping to drive the RAMP project, which we'll learn more about today. Thank you.
Thank you. And Karina.
Hi, all. I'm Karina Kanapka. I'm the Managed Services Leader with Kite Consulting, and I am working with Kevin on this initiative to work with all of our Oracle Service clients on the opportunities with Fusion Service.
Excellent. So that's the key people involved from a Kite and Oracle point of view this program. So this session today is structured in sort of three areas. The first one is a bit of a discussion around what we're hearing from the market, what are the key questions, what are the challenges within the whole RightNow Service Cloud and Fusion Service discussion. Then we'll get a short and sharp demonstration by Jackson around what Fusion Service Cloud looks like. And then we debate a little bit more what the RAMP program is about, you know, what to expect, what are the risks, consideration points between staying on RightNow Service Cloud versus moving, and just an open Q&A session with everyone in the room. So without further ado, what are we hearing in the market? So I kick this off and then I hand over to you, Jackson. So working in the industry, and that's universities, that's retailers, that's non-for-profits, everyone who's really in that service cloud user space. What we're seeing from a customer base really across industries is that customer expectations keep ramping upwards, right? So customers expect top service. They want to be known. They want to be known cross channels. They want people they're engaging with to know their backgrounds, their questions. They want to have fast resolution times, automated resolution times, sometimes 24/7 and whatnot. And as organizations, they're constantly challenged to drive that service out across different business units, but also within that space of having to optimize costs, driving efficiency, starting to use AI, and also being able to deliver that service, I guess, to the level of where customers are expecting it and where, you know, what company budgets allow, because budgets are being squeezed further and further. So, Jackson, what's the Oracle point of view? Do you see similar pressure points?
We certainly do, and everything you've said is bang on there, Anita, in terms of expectations from our customers. And look, it takes 2 seconds, a quick Google search, and you can see what those expectations are from particularly the younger audiences out there. And it is that 9 to 5 self-service. It is that I want to be known. I don't want to be a dear customer. I want to be Jackson Hilaire. And what we are hearing from more of an organizational perspective is very much aligned with that. But the challenges we have is that we're working with complex organizations. In all of the organizations we have in this particular call, you have multiple departments. Some of you have multiple faculties. You have multiple teams. You have multiple systems. Your systems have customer data across them. You might have CRMs. You might have sales applications. You might have a marketing application. And so your data is spread across this complex organization, this fractured ecosystem. We're chasing that single view of our customer. Who are our students? In a higher ed context, we all understand how education works. We've all been part of the education system at some point, but we have students who are just starting their educational journey, reaching out, thinking of studying engineering, right through to those students who have graduated and completed their course 10 years ago and might want to come back to do a refresher in Australian taxation law or something like that. How do we get those guys? How do we understand that life cycle? We just don't have that in our organizations. Challenge with analytics is another thing we hear. Again, that fractured organization, that structure that's not there is giving us a challenge when it comes to analytics for our forecasting, for our planning, whether it's financial or programs or whatever it happens to be. And we're dealing with technology that's sometimes outdated. We don't have the API library that we would like. We don't have the data in an accessible format. And with that outdated technology, we have users not wanting to adopt that technology. It looks outdated, it's old, it's clunky, you know. And then we can talk about the strategy. Like we all have strategies in our organizations. You have a digital strategy, an AI strategy, a cybersecurity strategy. And so how do we align the technology with those various strategies to achieve the outcomes you want to achieve? And going around the clock, and you guys can all read, so I won't go through all of these, but obviously commercial benefits is a big factor. This is something we hear a lot. We're spending too much. We're spending too much. We have to cut costs. We have to cut costs. We get it. We want that seamless experience that Nita just touched on for our customers and our staff. That segment of one, you know, is the dream we're trying to aspire to. And you know, from an insights perspective, from an analytics perspective, how do we forecast better? How do we plan better? How do we get those insights? We're hearing a lot about security, especially when we start talking AI. There's a lot of talk around security. What does that look like? Where are our LLMs hosted? How do we guarantee our private data does not leave our Australian shores? How do we make sure that that data is secure? And then a lot of the concerns that we're hearing from our customers bubbling out of these conversations are things like, well, we have a limited budget. Our budget's being reduced. Our budget's being cut. We need to consolidate. We need to optimize. We have these budget considerations. We have internal constraints around resourcing at times. Change management and adoption. I come from an implementation background. I've seen projects succeed and fail, not because of the technology, but because of the internal change management and the adoption of the technology. And we talked about security and you know, also a loss of functionality is a concern. So we need to, at a high level, that's what we're hearing from our customers that we're speaking with, from the challenges they're facing through to their concerns that they're addressing with us.
Yeah, and it's very similar to what we hear as well. So today's call, so this is in context of, you know, delivering services to our customers. And today's call is really very specific around that whole, you know, what's happening with RightNow Service Cloud. So in the context of that, right, a lot of customers also have been telling us what's happening with RightNow. Is Oracle discontinuing it? Is Oracle stopping to invest in it? Even worse, is Oracle going to support in it? You know, why is Oracle pushing Fusion so hard? And I'm going to put you here on the spot a little bit, but this is what our customers are telling us, right? Oracle is on this drive to push people off RightNow Service Cloud. So I want to pause here for a second and want to get the Oracle view, which few of us know, but it's not being really, you know, not everyone in the industry understands that. What's happening with RightNow Service Cloud, and what is the product strategy, and what is Oracle actually doing with their product?
Yeah.
And do people have to move off it?
Good questions, Anita. Let me pull this screen up here. So look, there's the short answer and the long answer, and I'll start with the short answer.
Yeah.
The short answer is it's not going anywhere.
Okay.
RightNow is here to stay.
Good.
It's on the SaaS Unlimited Applications program. That means there's a 10-year rolling roadmap for the RightNow application. We're not saying you have to get off. We're not saying you have to move. We're not saying jump ship. We're not saying anything's happening to the application. It is there to stay.
Yeah.
It is there to stay. Now, why are we talking about Fusion Service though? That's probably something that we need to talk about, and this is the long part of the answer. And that is basically it comes down to AI. Artificial intelligence is damned expensive to build, to maintain, to run. And Oracle has something like 300-400 SaaS applications that we try to maintain. What we can't do is invest in every single one of those hundreds of applications. You just can't do it. You just cannot do that.
Yeah.
With that in mind, what we're doing is saying, let's focus on our Fusion applications, because one AI agent studio benefits supply chain, ERP, HCM, CX, service sales, et cetera, et cetera. So let's focus on Fusion. But it's not fair to say to our customers, hey, we value you. Thank you for our partnership over the last, decade for some of us. It's not fair that we say, by the way, you don't get the shiny new stuff anymore. So what we're doing is talking Fusion Ramp, where we're giving customers a pathway if they want to move.
They want to move, yeah.
If is the big one. If you want to move, a pathway to go from RightNow to the Fusion applications and benefit from that AI investment that we're investing so heavily in.
So in a nutshell, Oracle is still investing in RightNow for the next 10 years,
100%.
right? Which also includes within platform AI enhancements, yeah?
To a degree.
To a degree,
Yeah.
yeah. So there is no need to do anything if people choose to stay on the RightNow platform, because what we see, right, a lot of companies have heavily invested in the configuration of the technology. It's fully embedded in the business processes. So the thought of moving is somewhat, why shall I change something which is actually working? So the consideration points, right, and we've been debating that within Kite and with Oracle and with customers. I think the consideration points are, if you just use RightNow in isolation or Oracle in isolation without any other Fusion products, then maybe there's no need to change anything, right? However, if the company strategy is to move towards leveraging AI cross business processes, so not only within your own tool, but actually start to look across different tools or across core business processes which extend beyond Service Cloud, then I think what's the ICT strategy for to achieve that is definitely a discussion. And I think that's what we want to show you maybe also today. So there's two things, right? The first thing is, well, what does RightNow and Fusion look like? What does Fusion Service Cloud look like? It's the like-for-like comparison, as you will, to get a bit of a look and a feel, but also what are consideration points to actually make that lift and make that move. So I want to ask you, Jackson, with what does AI and Fusion look like, right? What are the kind of the wider AI functionalities within Fusion which surround Fusion Service Cloud?
Yeah, good. Another good question. So when it comes to, we touched on Oracle investment in AI, and one thing I want to call out is that the AI we talk about, it's and I know this sounds a bit salesy, but it's built in, not bolted on. That means you're not having to buy separate SKUs, you're not being charged by token counts, you're not, it's all part of the application. And we try to embed those AI capabilities into the business processes that come out of our Fusion applications.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? That means that instead of having to make an API call out to an LLM somewhere, we embed generative AI into your application, and we're going to see a bit of that later on. We embed the agentic AI into the applications. We embed even the classic, we talk about classic, I've been here since the 80s. It's been wonderful since, who was it that Russian fellow beat the computer beat that Russian fellow back in 87, I think it was, IBM. We were all too young to remember that. But yeah, so look, the AI is part of those applications. And I'll just pull up this sort of really high level sort of architecture here, and just to sort of get a feel for what we're talking about. And that is, you'll note we have the Fusion applications, and I'll focus more on service at the top here. And we have different industries and different customers we're talking to, whether it's, manufacturing, whether it's education, whether it's non-for-profits, et cetera. But underpinning that whole application, all of our applications, is our AI Agent Studio. That means that all of those applications benefit from that one studio. That means that if you're using multiple applications, we've got agents that bounce across those various pillars, combining your business processes. It's not a pillared approach anymore. We also have your customer data. And what wonderful things can we do with customer data, knowing things like next best action, next best offer, et cetera, based off all of that information we have, and the agentic AI looking at all of that data and making those recommendations for us. And all of that sits on Oracle's ecosystem. So when we talk about data security and the security concerns around the AI capabilities, it's all within Oracle's cloud infrastructure. It doesn't go to a third-party provider. You know exactly where your data is at all times.
Yeah, so it's secure, and the unified data platform, I think, is definitely a key driver. And the way I often explain it is, with service requests, often there is, the service requests often expand into other business units, for example, finance or billing, right? If we pick a utility industry, for example, and you have customers ring up and say, I got this bill and I can't afford it at the moment. Can we do installments, right? Imagine if, all of this process could be automated, right? Because your AI agent is connecting actually with your billing or ERP system, right? Because it's all native in one platform. And that's just one use case I can potentially think of, or the whole idea of having a Unity data platform as well, of really understanding your customer omni-channel and then starting to leverage AI to drive experiences or up and cross-sell opportunities, or understand influences.
Yeah, exactly right. And any B2B application too. If we're looking at like sales, for example, and what the invoices and contracts and payment schedules and all of those sorts of things, all embedded in that one application. But just sorry, I need a quick snapshot. And I won't spend too much time here, but just a quick snapshot, just to give you a bit of a flavour for when I talk about that investment and what it looks like.
Yeah.
So this is just for the service side of things. If we're looking at self-service, you can see things like escalation prediction agents and resolution agents that are automatically resolving requests for us, triage agents, etc. We can see a whole range of areas around knowledge and how can we serve up knowledge better to our customers. We've all heard of ChatGPT. We've all used ChatGPT. Well, why aren't we serving up knowledge to our customers in that style? Why are we having to search a particular, product category? No. Let's make it more of a conversational experience for our customers.
Yeah.
And look, the list goes on and on and on and on.
Wow.
And so this is just a small snapshot of what we can expect to see in the coming releases, particularly over the next 12 months in the Fusion applications.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, it's really Oracle is really leaning into Fusion as the strategic platform where all the AI investment goes across multiple applications with one connected data set. And I think for everyone who's listening into this, I think that's a key decision point, right? Do I move to Fusion or do I stay on the platform?
Yeah.
And the move to Fusion, also as a partner, we see where Oracle is really, really strong is if a customer has multiple different applications on the Fusion platform, because that's where the connected data really leans in. And that's where organizations really start driving the operational benefits home. And, if your organization doesn't have that and there's no need to change, right? So that's the other really key message to bring across. But we also promised to show a little bit about what the Service Cloud could look like in Fusion. So can we have a short demo of Fusion Service Cloud, please, to give the audience a bit of a look and feel?
Of course. Okay. I thought you would never ask, Anita. Let's go.
What you like doing most, showing off the shiny tools.
Look, we don't have a lot of time together today, and so what I'll do is just quickly walk through two experiences, and I'm going to also call upon my colleague Selena to help out in a minute as well. But essentially, what I want to do is just show some of the capabilities, and for those of you who are familiar with RightNow, you might see some stuff that's familiar. You might see some stuff that's new and exciting. So let's have a look. And what I'm going to do is just start with knowledge authoring. Now, we work with organizations that have up to millions upon millions of knowledge articles, products, categories. It's insane. And generating and maintaining that knowledge is something that's very, very tricky for these customers to maintain. What I'm going to show here is I've just opened up the knowledge authoring tool. I'm just going to select an FAQ style document. And of course, all of that's configurable with the types of knowledge that you want to author. But I want to use the generative AI capabilities to help me author this knowledge a bit more, with a bit more gusto than what we might experience in the RightNow environment. You'll see here, we can generate the knowledge from an existing file. We can generate it from a service request. We can also have one of your agents who's resolving a service request, use that to create a knowledge from that request as well. But from an authoring perspective, let's just look at a file. An example I'm going to use today is a sort of a complex document from our friends at TAFE New South Wales here. If I was wanting to apply to a course, it's an existing document we have about how to apply. There's some images, there's some imagery down here around the process you need to follow. Quite a complex document on that application process. What I'm going to do is just drop that in our drag and drop here. Now, the system's going to take a second. I will concede that my demo environment is based in the US. So there's a bit of a lag in a lot of the processes you see. but I'm just going to ask
But while you do that, the actual Fusion service environments are based here in Australia, yeah?
100%. Yeah. Our demo environments are
Yeah.
not though. How do I apply for a course? Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, guys, had to watch me type. Okay. How do I apply for a course? Let's generate that. Now, what we're going to see here is that we've made a call out to our LLMs, our large language models. They're looking through the information in that particular document. I was testing this the other day with the Subaru Outback technical guide.
Oh.
It's a 750 megabyte document. And yeah, I was able to look up ignition systems and fun stuff like that. So
wow.
it's pretty cool. But what you've seen here is based off that document, it's come back and started to author the knowledge for us. Now, me as a human, I can go in there and make modifications and change it. But we start that process with something on the page to get the ball rolling. So we're not having to start from scratch and cut and paste. We can start that journey. And just with a service request, if an inquiry has come in from a prospective customer, and there's been an internal conversation through Teams or Slack that are captured as part of that service request, and there's a whole range of information with a technical team or an admissions team or whoever it happens to be, all of that information is captured in the service request. We can use that SR to create knowledge if we don't have that knowledge already to go. So I hope that was
super fast, yeah.
Yeah, and just one of the many tools. We showed all of those AI capabilities before. That's just one of those many tools available to you. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's new knowledge bases, I think, are used quite intensely by Service Cloud users.
Yeah.
So I think being able to upload something fast, edit it fast, maintain it fast, personalize it, I think is a really good, strong capability. Sorry.
No. Now I'm going to call upon my friend Selena. She's what I'd like to do here is just simulate a chat with a customer who's calling in. They're complaining about we're about to find out. So my customer, Oliver, he's about to message in. Here comes the chat. Good timing, Selena. Thank you very much. And I'm going to start the chat. And what I want you to take away from this is that what we'll see in a second is that the system is taking that knowledge that we've authored and it's serving it up to us. So have you seen the bottom left here? Here's our chat with Oliver, and it's looking at the history of the chat. You can see Oliver's already been talking to our assistant here, and Oliver's given some answers to some questions. We still can't get a response for Ollie. So the system's saying, hey, like, why not provide this knowledge back to the customer? So we can send that knowledge and give that back. Oops, I did double click the wrong thing, but that's okay. There it comes back again. We can also dig into the knowledge ourselves. So I can say, hey, I want to see what this knowledge looks like. I can share that information with the customer. I can talk through that knowledge with the customer over the chat. So we have that accessibility as well there. So you saw the takeaway here is that the system is proactively serving up information to help you resolve these questions as quickly as possible. And it's not just in a chat setting. So I'm going to jump out of this now. Let's go down to the service. Actually, I should have stayed there and created a service request. Selena, I've gone off script. Oh my goodness, that's okay. Here's one we created earlier. Actually, what I should do is I will go back here and create a service request. We can suggest a change. We don't want to do that. So what we might do is create a service request from this chat. And again, this is using that generative AI capabilities. I'll get to the page.
There's also, so there's stuff, what we see here on the right is all the past service requests from that customer, yeah?
That's all your history, yeah, that's all your history.
It's all very, like you can see everything nice and neatly on one page.
Yeah, definitely. And these are all configurable, obviously, but you'll notice a lot of what I do is all up in this action bar at the top here. So I want to create a service request. You'll see the service request pops open on the side. And if we give it a second, what we're seeing is now the generative AI capabilities look at what we've our engagement with the customer so far, and it's going to pre-populate the contact, the title. We should get a problem description. There it is, categorizes it for us. So we're getting all of that information in our system without having to actually go and manually type and lose time doing these sorts of things. Can't see my buttons down there.
Almost like co-work, yeah, where you can pre-fill.
I wouldn't. Did you say homework?
Co-work.
Oh, I thought you said homework.
No.
Okay, so what we've done is we've had a conversation. You've seen the knowledge get served up that we've authored before. You're seeing the generative AI go in and triage requests, create requests. You didn't see a triage happen, but that's been sent to a particular queue in the background. And I'm going to pop open that request now. And, we might have finished our conversation with Oliver. It's going to pop open the request that we just created. And what we should see at the top here are things like, what's the next best action? What should we do? We should reply to the customer, complete this action before it's due. That's the right thing to do, right? We're seeing a summary here of the request that's going to change based off, the more information we give, that generated summary is going to change. But most importantly, again, we're seeing knowledge get served up here. And so the takeaway is that from a service perspective, at every step of the process, we've got these agents in the background trying to help you. Here's the information. Here's the content. Here's the whatever it happens to be. And let's have a look at the other knowledge it's recommending. Let's pull this up here. And we might find, hey, this is the knowledge article I'm looking for. I'm just going to share that. Once there it is. Oops. I'm just going to share that. And what we should see in a minute is the system then saying, okay, well, obviously you want to give this information to your customer, to your student, to your donor, whoever it happens to be. How can we word this for you in natural language without you having to tippity type or use standard text or anything like that? And there it is, a sort of summary of the information, a link to the information if they want to go and consult that information. We can now personalize this if we like to. We can do whatever we want to, add images, whatever we need to do. But the point is, I'm a terrible typist. You saw me try to type before. I type like a T-Rex with 3 fingers and...
Spelling mistakes sometimes, right? It's like my team catches me all the time. It's like, you don't spell it like that.
But the takeaway here is that we're trying to automate service as much as possible. Now, I've gone through a process where there's a human in the loop, there's a human involvement, but you can see the takeaway is that you've had assistance every step of the way to make sure that the right answers are getting to the right people at the right time.
Yeah, so basically it's pre-drafted and you can just tweak it manually before you send it. I mean, this seems to be quite a lengthy text here. It's probably that will save quite a lot of time. And so all of that AI, all of this sits, of course, in the Fusion platform. It's all secure. It's all private to the organization using it, right? If I think about a different industry like government or healthcare, right, they don't want to use any public AI. Can we talk a little bit about the security of AI?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So it's all secure? Yeah.
No, so look, it is a good question.
Yeah.
So for Fusion applications, they all live on the Australian data centres.
Yeah.
One in Sydney, one in Melbourne here. The large language models are hosted in Chicago. Now, for some of our customers, that does raise alarm bells. And they say, well, hang on, are you packaging up all of our private data? Sorry, all of our private data and sending it to the US? Yeah. No, we are not. So within the Oracle Cloud infrastructure, we have the AI orchestration, we have the guardrails, and what that does is that strips any PII out of the response, makes sure that the prompt we're sending is appropriate. It goes to the LLMs over in Chicago, and whether that's Cohere, OpenAI, Grok, whatever it is you want to use. And then that data comes back in. Our guardrails pick it up, check it again, make sure the response is appropriate, make sure there's no hallucinations, make sure it fits the Oracle standard. And then that's what you see get published back.
Yeah, perfect.
And look, we're more, if security is a concern, I'm more than happy to sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah, I mean, what we see a lot of organizations have their own AI sort of target teams now, which look into various different tools they're using. And I think that, if an organization makes the decision to go all into sort of the Oracle, Fusion stack with the AI agents and whatnot, I think it's just important to know how this looks like and how it fits into the cybersecurity form.
If that is a concern, let's be real. Yeah.
So in terms of the Fusion stack, I know, so we're about halfway time. Is there any other key things you wanted to share before we move into the next discussion point?
No, I guess by a show of hands, and we can't see you, so it's an honesty system right now. But by a show of hands, what's the level of interest? I mean, please use the chat if you like to. What's the level of interest in learning more about the Fusion Ramp program and possibly moving from RightNow, whether it's something that you end up doing, whether you want to do it?
Yeah.
Like, let's have a look at what the program looks like and how customers are supported through that journey.
Yeah, people are typically shy. Oh, there's someone. One is yeah. So I mean, with that Fusion demo, I mean, we also knew that 20 minutes is probably a very short time to give people some good insights around what the tool is able to do. So we just encourage you, please book us in after this meeting for a more bespoke one-on-one session with you, where we can give you a better understanding of like much more of the AI capability or out of the box and functionality. But the key thing, what we also wanted to do in this call, is not only to share with you all the Fusion shiny bits, but also talk a little bit more about the RAMP program, what it means, what's the RightNow to Fusion program Oracle is supporting at the moment, and what's Oracle offering, and what anyhow, I'm waffling on. I hand back over to you. I know Philip Brown, you are saying you're interested. That's great. We've been having multiple conversations in the market across industry, so there's definitely an interest in the industry, which also sparked the the setting up of this call. And we also are very aware that a lot of people still don't know exactly what the RAMP program is about.
Yep.
So I want to hand back the ball to you to give us a bit of an overview of what Oracle is offering for a limited time, and then we can discuss a few more points around that.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's bring this up now again. I just want to reiterate, and I want to make this point abundantly clear, Anita, is that RightNow is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, it's here to stay. It's here to stay, because I know there's people who wear blue uniforms who are out there saying things to customers about RightNow leaving, end of life, etc. So I want to dispel those rumors right here and right now.
Yeah, and it's again, I also want to say a lot of RightNow customers have the platform for many, many years. They have invested so much time and money in configuring it to fit their business processes. So all of that does need to be considered. Is it worthwhile actually moving? So, but yeah, what is the RAMP program?
Thank you. So Fusion Ramp is a productized tool set within RightNow. Now, anyone who has a RightNow environment has access to go into the configuration settings and go and see what they can migrate if they want to. It's there for you, and we're happy to walk you through that process if you want to. But essentially, it's a productized tool that helps you migrate your data from RightNow into service. Knowledge, contact, service requests, you name it, all of that stuff we can pick up and move with a few clicks of a button. We talk about security a fair bit. Your data never leaves the Oracle ecosystem. We don't put it on a USB somewhere. It doesn't go off into a shared folder somewhere. It always stays on OCI. It doesn't ever leave the Oracle ecosystem. We've talked a lot about AI and new features. I also want to call out that it's fully supported by the Oracle teams. So like Kite, wonderful, get in there, hands on the ground, work with customers around process and possible change to process, et cetera, and working with customers. But from a technical side, from a technical perspective, we have our product management and center of excellence who are engaged. They want customers to be successful. They'll be hands-on, quarterly meetings, monthly meetings, whatever we need with our experts to help guide through the more technical elements of the migration. And we'll talk about licensing in a second too, because it's pretty exciting what we're doing with licensing. But it's essentially a productized tool set. We have customers in the US and Europe who are our early adopters. They've gone live now. We've learned a lot. We have monthly releases to enhance the tool set we have at the moment. And so it's there for our customers to use if they want to. What does the program look like? There's essentially 6 stages to the program. And the first is, like I used that word success before. I know I sound salesy when I say we want you to be successful, but that's the truth, right? We don't want our customers to say, we tried this, it didn't work.
Yeah, that would not be good.
Right.
Yeah.
So there is an eligibility process at the start of the journey. And that's where our center of excellence and product management guys will look at our customers' install, look at their CPMs, their add-ins, the complexity of their environment, what integrations are they running, and say, we think you'd be a good fit. Or they might say, you're not really a good fit for the program,
So what would make someone not be a good fit? If there's like over customization or
or what are you using RightNow for?
Okay.
Does that fit into Fusion service capabilities? If it doesn't, we had a conversation with the university a few weeks ago, and they said, look, we're interested, we'd love to do that, but we don't really use RightNow the way it's supposed to be used. We've customized it to the heck, and we sort of use it as a data repository system, and that's it.
Yeah, right.
So there's no point, right?
Yeah.
So we have that initial eligibility, and it's just a sort of internal check to make sure that, yes, you're suitable. We're not going to set you up for failure.
And that's it's the product team having a look underneath the hood or behind the hood to what they can see on your data center, how the system is configured. Okay.
Exactly.
So there's no time really involved from a customer to spend with Oracle.
No.
Okay, so that's like an eligibility check, which happens behind the scenes. Yeah,
exactly right. And it's not like a big formal assessment. There's no final certificate presented. It's a, hey, Jackson, hey, Michelle, hey, Anita, we're interested. Can we just start the process and look at our environment? And we'll do that part for you. Contact Product Management Center of Excellence and say, hey, can we have a look at Kite Consulting's environment? Let's see how we're going to go with that. And then we move into approval from our product management team. And so once we do get that eligibility check, we'll talk licensing as well. And what we aim is a like for like in terms of licensing. So what we don't want to see happen is, we talked about the challenges before and concerns, and commercial considerations is a big one. We don't want to see you go from RightNow to Fusion and end up having to pay more in licensing.
Yeah.
That's wild, right?
So it's same for licensing. Is there an opportunity to decrease licensing?
100%. Yeah.
So if the usage would go down, or if the organization has changed, okay.
Yeah.
But in principle, it's like for like. Yeah.
The intent is that it's like for like, and that's more to help our customers with budget cycles and that sort of thing.
So
if you can plan.
Okay, but then I'm a customer, so I'm liking this. But let's be honest, right? So to move from one system to the other, there's manual work which needs to happen in between, right? So about a year or 6 months of got to get a consultant in, got to move all the data over and whatnot. So there's still a cost to this program.
There is. And we will not let you start the journey on this program without a partner involved.
Yeah.
Because we talk about success, right? So with the partner involvement, I'll come back to licensing. I see where you're going with this, and then just jump in down a little bit. But that's okay.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah.
So work with the partner, work with Kite Consulting. They'll manage that, work with you to. You might want to redesign some of your processes. You might want to look at some of your teams and how your organization's structured.
Yeah.
And so your partners will work with you. Kite Consulting will work with you to build out what the final design looks like. They'll work with you and our product management center of excellence teams to make sure that the migration goes successful. And then within 12 months, you're up and running on RightNow. On Oracle Fusion Service. When I say within 12 months, that's the absolute maximum.
Yeah.
You get to smash it out long before that.
Yeah.
We go live within like 4 months. Last November. Yeah.
And I think the key thing here to call out is the migration, right? So with Kite, we have been trained by the Oracle product team around the RAMP program. And the exciting part for us was Oracle has actually built a migration tool which picks up the RightNow Service Cloud data sets and automatically ingests it into the Fusion Service Cloud. So that just assumes your data is clean, which we also found out from other customers may not necessarily be the case. So that data cleansing is an activity which needs to be considered as the project kicks off or before the project kicks off. But then there's a data migration automation tool which already comes, pre-configured with the data sets automatically matched from RightNow to Fusion, which really should accelerate the data migration and then only the reconfiguration in the new tool. So, But anyhow, you have more to say on the topic as well, yeah?
Yeah, and I'll close out here because this is, I think, the most exciting thing. And again, it's our commitment to the success, right? And we talked about the commercial impacts, and we don't want customers to be having to pay, blah, blah, blah. So what we're looking at doing here is saying we will discount RightNow for 1 year, 100%. We'll discount Fusion Service for 1 year, 100%. And that frees up the budget that would be spent on licensing towards change management, towards the migration efforts, towards transition, all those other wonderful things.
12 months, no licensing fees on both products, yeah?
Correct. 100% correct.
Amazing.
Yeah. I will stop there.
Yeah, that's amazing. So 12 months, no license fees, which frees up the budget to renew. So there's a couple of audience questions. Jessica's asking, can we hear more about the licensing tiers and seats models?
Licensing tiers and seats models. What do you mean, Jess? Are you talking about what does licensing for Fusion Service look like? Are you talking about what does the process look like in terms of mapping existing licenses and tiers?
So our current contract with Oracle is bound by, we're on named seats. I'll be honest, the seats are really expensive for how some of our users are using the system. So we haven't yet been able to get clarity around how we can adjust the way we issue seats to give different levels of access and use for our staff. So obviously we've got a call center, they need the whole hog, but then we have staff who also just dip in maybe once or twice a week to kind of reach out to a student or, you know, respond to something. You know, at the moment, we pay the same for all of those staff members, and I'm curious to understand what options are available in Fusion to better suit our needs.
That's a good question. Thank you for being brave enough to jump on and ask that. I know a lot of people like to sort of hide on these sorts of things, so thank you for that initially. Look, I'll make 2 quick points. The first is that there are 2 license models for Fusion Service. There's the full license and there's the limited license. The full license is, as you said, the contact center person who's in there every day doing all of those wonderful things. Limited license for those approvers that go in and approve something or whatever it happens to be. Now, the other part of it is that under the RightNow licensing, you buy a bucket of licenses for each month. You use them or you don't. The next month starts again, and you paid for that bucket. You start your bucket number 2. Fusion Service licensing works on a pooled license contract over the duration of the contract. So let's say it's 2 or 3 years, and you might buy 1,000 licenses. Now, in month 1, you might have 10 people log in and use those full licenses. You now have 990 licenses remaining. In month 2, you might have 20 people log in. That will burn off another 20 licenses, 70 licenses remaining. It's like a lot of us are too young to remember the old SMS models where you buy like $30 worth of SMS and everyone you send costs like 30 cents, but you've got that $30 to draw
you
on.
buy bulk and you draw down from it without the pricing changing,
Exactly.
and unless or until you have used up all those seats,
Right.
within the time period, and then you can purchase more, I'm assuming, or
100%.
So I guess to answer your question, Jessica, it looks like it would be, or anyone on this call, right, to determine the to-be licensing, we would have to look at, you know, the current usage or the average usage in a 12-month period. And then I think that would determine, I guess, the licensing model for the future. But if you get the feeling that it's being underused or people don't log in or log in once a month, but you're paying all these seats, there's probably some cost savings, I'm assuming, which could be achieved. Yeah,
and Jess, that's an exercise that our product management team do on your behalf. So they'll look at your existing licenses, usage, etc., and they'll say, okay, here's the recommended bill of materials for a transition. What do you think? Let's talk. So
and I think just clarity around exactly what functionality is included in a full license versus a limited license. We went through our contract renewal earlier this year, and we have yet to sort of get clarity and the documentation for that.
Interesting.
That we
Can
don't
you send...
have. So if it's a bit of a pain point for us. So kind of a list of, if you have a limited license, these are all the things you can read, edit, access. Change.
Yes. Michelle has no plans this weekend. Can you send her an email asking the question? No, honestly, send that email to me and I'll get some information for you.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
That shouldn't be a pain point.
Yeah, very good. Thanks, Jessica. There's also a second question from Ganesh. And it is there a minimum version requirement to access Fusion Rain product set in the RightNow environment? Does Oracle has a checklist of self-assessment per customer included in Fusion Rain?
If there's a concern by our product management center of excellence teams, they'll flag that as part of that initial assessment. And that's what that eligibility check at the start is, to make sure that...
Not a self-assessment as per se, it's more the product team has a look at the back end. So I guess the assumption is everyone is eligible. unless the product team says
Exactly
no.
right. And if you're on 23D, they're going to say you've got to update. If you're on
update first.
Yeah, if you're not on 26A and you're on 25D, look, I can't say yes or no, but
yeah. But if you're in a really updated version, okay, well, that's also good to know. Yeah, excellent. So one of the questions we also got asked, how long does it take and how much does it cost, right? So how long does it take? So from a consultancy point of view, we definitely recommend data cleansing, right? Depending on how messy your data sets is, this could be a few weeks to maybe a few months, could be done in-house, could be done externally. But then we also recommend some business requirements gathering, right? So we really would want to understand how you currently use RightNow Service Cloud to really see, what are the core business processes, how you're using it, how it's embedded in your business. Is there any improvements you want to make? And then we basically lock in what the future looks like, right? After that, so that we would factor in 2 to 4 weeks for detailed business requirements, probably more on the 4-week side, because a lot of RightNow Service Cloud customers have the system very heavily embedded in core business processes. Then they actually lift from one system to the other, because there's the ramp tool. We don't see actually that being that big. So we estimate 3 to 4 months, a couple of consultants, maybe 2 to 3 consultants over that period of time. We would Oracle ramp migration tool and would be heavily focused on configuring the new solution, migrating to Dual, and then working with the business in terms of playbacks, right? Playbacks, solution testing, integration testing, but also the user acceptance testing. And the key thing for us is really taking the business on a journey, because, if organizations are change resilient, or, there's not enough invested in the overarching change management or the training of the new capability and explaining the why and the benefits it brings back. I see this actually almost as a risk factor. You say, well, the organization needs to take the people on a journey, which then, from a consultancy point of view, the testing, we would spend 6 to 8 weeks, right? Making sure there's enough time for training and whatnot before we actually hand over back to the business for go live, and then hypercare after that. At that point, I actually also wanted to ask back to Michelle to see, is there any use cases or any success stories already from other customers who have migrated into Fusion Service Cloud? Is there any customer where it went totally pear-shaped? Is there customers where it actually went really well? What has Oracle seen across industries of what's worked and what hasn't? Any tips from an Oracle point of view?
Yeah, great question, Anita. So I can't disclose exact details and customer names at this stage, but they certainly are coming. But we so far have more than 6 customers who have completed their migrations globally. So our team is working with them at the moment to actually prepare case studies and details of their migration experience, and we'll be able to share that with everybody really soon. So stay tuned, definitely. For some of those customers, did anyone go really pear-shaped? I'm really happy to say no. Some of those customers took 4 to 6 months to complete their migration. Yeah, absolutely. So in some instances, the quickest 4 months, a couple 6 months. And there were a couple of customers as well who had more complex migration requirements. They took 9 to 10 months, but they were global customers. And we had one customer who actually did take, and this was one of the first customers, who did take just over 12 months. But the good news in that was that the Oracle team were able to secure some executive approvals, so they continued RightNow for free while they completed that migration. So at the end of the day, the focus is on successful migrations. That is what it is all about to us, and how we can support with that success, and get every customer into Fusion Service and accessing the benefits that and capability that then that brings to their business. We've also...
That's great. Yeah, so go ahead. I have a question then for that as well, but go ahead.
Yeah, good. Look, all I was going to say is we've also got about 10 odd customers who are also completing and underway with their migration globally as well. So quite a bit of momentum.
And locally across Australia, there's interest as well from various companies.
Yeah, there's been a lot of interest in our local market. We're really lucky here. We've got partners such as yourselves that have completed all of the enablement and capability training with the RAMP program and so forth, and ready to support customers. And we've got conversations underway with at least 20 customers, all at various stages. And we've got contracting underway with a few of those as well.
Yeah, excellent. So, playing the customer's advocate here is like, well, the risk you mentioned before, there's the Centre of Excellence is supporting customers. What does Kite know anyway about CX or Fusion? But there could be concerns, right? What about if things go wrong? What about there's unknown, issues in Fusion, right? We hear a lot of noise. We do know things can go wrong. What is actually the commitment from the Centre of Excellence? What does this practically look like? Also for us as a consultancy. So let's assume in the midst of, migrating things and configuring things, and there's an error we can't fix, right? What would be our access level to the Centre of Excellence team to really get, fast and hands-on help from Oracle?
Absolutely.
Do you want that, Michelle, or do you want me to answer? Go ahead.
Oh, look, Ken, if you like, Jackson, I was really going to say, and please add to this, but there's a couple of aspects to this answer. Firstly, that technical risk is mitigated as much as possible from an Oracle point of view through, firstly, qualified partners such as Kite, absolutely through the RAMP tool that supports with that data migration. And then we've got our COE engagement that supports as well. But before I go into that, I'll go back to Jackson to see if I've missed anything in there first, and then I'll tell you a bit more about COE.
No, look, I just want to make one point, and it sounds really cheesy, it sounds really salesy, but the success of the customers is paramount. That's the most important thing, and that's why we're offering the licensing discounts. That's why COE is there, product management's there. There's that initial eligibility check. Like, that's the most important thing. Yeah. So that's
excellent.
And they're committed. They're engaged.
Also saying as a partner, right? I mean, we've had that session with the Centre of Excellence team, and we're really, whatever you need, just give us a phone call. Here's my mobile phone number. We put people on this. We support you. We support our customers to be successful on this journey, which is also as a consultancy, it's peace of mind to know, whether we have a tiger team who will be our buddies to make sure this is, I like tiger team too, but which makes sure everyone involved is successful. Michelle, any further words on that from your side?
Yeah, look, absolutely. So from a COE perspective, they have been intricately involved in every migration that has completed to date and that is currently underway. They are going to be really heavily involved in the first few implementations in our region as well. So there is absolutely a benefit in being one of the first to implement in our region. And the COE support, they will provide a dedicated technical resource to support with the migration, and they will guide the migration. So they will be there end-to-end across governance, across supporting with best practices, across any issues that come up along the way, any escalation and triaging that needs to take place, or any coordination across Oracle, our services partners, and their team to keep that delivery on track. So that really helps with some of the toughest parts, and some of the toughest parts, as we know, for migrations is across that integration management, across what is the data strategy. That's the point where these migrations can be really complex. So having that technical resource assigned and having them there with the experience that they have end to end is absolutely invaluable.
Peace of mind. No, that's fabulous. Thank you. And, you know, I know we have a few minutes left here. From a Kite Consulting point of view, you know, when people reach out most to us, it's like, well, that's all great, but how long does this take for us? How much does it cost for us, right? So everyone who wants to know that, we do offer a free assessment of your bespoke environment, of your setup, your configuration, your business needs, to give you a rough figure of magnitude around this will take 4 months, or actually this will take 10 months, and this will take 200,000, or this is 800,000. It's probably somewhere in between those numbers, yeah. But if you want us to look under the hood over the next few months, you know, we're here. Kevin is here. Karina is here. We're happy to have meetings and do a take assessment, right? Which really gives you a bit of a peace of mind around, okay, how long is the piece of string for your organization, and whether, you know, you're interested to take it further, or actually no, too much, too complicated, not the right time for you. And yeah.
That's awesome. That's wonderful.
Yeah. That's good. And yeah, it's good working with you guys on that. And, you know, we want to see customers successful as well. So with that, I just want to see whether there's any last questions. There's 3 minutes left, but I'm sure everyone likes a short break before the next meeting. I'll be following up with everyone via email anyway. So this meeting has been recorded. We will put this on our website, and we'll send the recording to everyone who registered. If there's any follow-up questions, so 2 things: if you want to have a more detailed demo, Jackson is your man. If you want to have a technology assessment to see how long is the piece of string for your organization, we can help you with that. And yeah, you can hopefully make informed decisions from here onwards. Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Jackson.
Thank you, Anita.
Thank you, everyone who managed to attend, and we'll be in touch. Have a good afternoon.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.